What's up, party people? It's KeysDAN with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time, DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quotes, and maybe you could have me at your next event. You know I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Let me entertain you. Today on the program, I have Nick Vordenbaum of Lux Productions, DJ Lux, LandingKraft, Absynthe. Oh yeah, San Antonio, Texas. You're going to find out more about him in the next few minutes, so stick around. This week's shows, I have, well, one and a half public shows. I have my usual Friday night gig at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas, the Video Dance Party Karaoke Jam. They got a full bar, kitchen's open. In fact, they got new menu items. There's a brand new owner of the Rab, and he happens to own, or his family happens to own, the Italian restaurant, so he's bringing some new items to the Rab, and that's very exciting. I had a gyro last week. Yum, yum. And the week before, I had, like a pulled pork sandwich. Delicious, delicious, I tell you. And so check out the food at the Rab. And, they also have a pool tournament every Friday night at the Rab. There's a pool tournament. So if you'd like to try your hand at playing pool and possibly make some money while you're waiting to sing on stage next to yours truly, come on out to the Rab. 8 p.m. until 12:30 in the AM. Always a good time on Friday nights. And then on Saturday from 9 until 2 in the p.m., 9 a.m. till 2 in the p.m., I will be over at the Eagle Real Estate in Conway, Arkansas. Let me look that up on my phone real quick, if you'll bear with me. It's Eagle Real Estate, Eagle Rock Real Estate over at 1090 Spencer Street in Conway, Arkansas, from 9 a.m. until 2. They're having an open house, and they want me to play a little music and give them some microphones, and yeah, it's going to be a good time. So 9 to 2 at Eagle Rock. Eagle Rock. Are you ready to rock? Speaking of ready to rock, let's get into it with Nick Vordenbaum, Lux Productions, DJ Lux, DJ Lux. I got him on Skype, so if you're listening to the audio version, I encourage you to check out the video version on my YouTube page, youtube.com/user/KeysDAN. And I apologize in advance. I'm a little bit under the weather, so you might hear a cough or two during the podcast. Skyping Nick Vordenbaum now. Nick Vordenbaum, DJ Lux in full effect. Yeah. The party is on now.
Fantastic.
We see your face, your beautiful smiling face right there next to me. It's amazing.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's Dan, is that correct?
That would be I. You can call me Dan. My mama calls me Dan.
Excellent.
Man, I've been looking forward to talking to you. I'm sorry about yesterday, but hey, things happen, and here we are. We're talking. I didn't even have to say that. The listener wouldn't even know about that if I hadn't even said it. But I'm apologizing to you because I'm humbled to be in your presence. Nick Vordenbaum. Look,
I appreciate that.
I've been a DJ for since 86, on and off since then. But I'm looking at your Lux Productions. You are still doing the huge productions that I was doing back when I was a baby DJ back in Miami. You're doing these huge productions. Is that what you do?
I spent a lot of time. Yeah, I've spent a lot of man hours compiling. It originally started out with, I had a band called Absynthe, and I compiled this techno dance stuff that I was doing, fusion, and it kind of just coalesced into LandingKraft.
Excellent, man. Hey, do you have a headset by any chance? Because it'll cut out some of the echo, and the listener will have a better time.
You know, I don't have a headset. I'm going through a move right now. I've got an empty apartment right now, unfortunately.
It sounds like an empty apartment. I'm sure you spend a lot of time in studios, and you have the technology on how to make a studio sound right. You got to have stuff on the walls that'll deaden the sound, that'll make the sound waves bounce out in all different directions and get caught up like carpets.
Yeah.
So hey, you're on the move, man. Well, tell me about you. Let's start with where was a baby Nick Vordenbaum from? Where were you born?
Here in San Antonio, Texas. I was born and raised. I'm a proud Texas native, and I grew up not liking music at all. Didn't want to have a thing to do with it. As a young child, didn't really care about music. And then in my teen years, I bought a bass guitar and started strumming on it. I didn't know too much. And late senior year, I ended up, I decided, I was like, I want to buy a synthesizer. Okay, I want to buy a synthesizer. So I ended up buying a synthesizer, a really, well reputable brand. And one thing led to another. It's just I just started my music career from there, right out of high school.
Well, little Nick in San Antonio, you don't like music. What are you getting into as a wee tot? Are you playing sports, or what are you?
I played basketball. I played sports. Did the baseball thing. And I wasn't the very best at anything like that. And wasn't the very best sportsman, and I sure didn't have the attitude to go along with that, or the commitment to go along with that. Yeah.
Well, everything I've heard about Texas is football is a way of life. If you talk to a Canadian, they're going to tell you hockey. If you talk to anybody in Europe or South America, they're going to tell you soccer. But if you talk to a lot of people in Texas, besides being their own sovereign nation and not caring whether they're part of the United States, or not.
About the Alamo.
Yeah,
they're still mad.
Are you giving back? Was it General? What's his leg? The guy's leg. I think they.
Oh.
Do you remember?
I don't recall. Is it was it one of the guys at the Alamo? Or
yeah, I think it was a general that he had a fake leg and they took it. Man, I think of the Alamo. When you say remember the Alamo, I think of Pee Wee Herman in Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah. He did go to San Antonio. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and he said he was looking for his bicycle in the basement. I think that was one of the subplots of Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. My
childhood.
Yeah.
My childhood was not the most thrilling. It all kind of stems from right out of high school. Getting right out of high school, everything just seemed to work out. Everything worked out better. I just had opportunities galore, for me that were just, blossoming.
Okay. I mean, but the childhood in San Antonio, I think I've been through there. I'm not sure if I did a party there years ago. I was on is that the one is that on I-10 goes through it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did do a party there. I did do a party. I was going cross country in my minivan full of DJ supplies, and I stopped there and I did a singles party in San Antonio. Unfortunately, all I had was that one night, and really all I know is that the one room that I was in. So I don't know the tourism of San Antonio. What's good to do in San Antonio?
It's a fantastic town. It really is to call home. It's a really excellent town to call home. It's got a rather large population. I believe it's swept under the carpet more often than not. I think San Antonio could get recognized a little bit more, put it more in the light. That's just my opinion. But the music scene is decent here. It's a metal town, metal community. People like their metal.
Okay, see, I would not have known that. People all over the world think of Texas and always think of cowboys. And I and thinking of country
There's
music.
that too. Oh yeah.
You got the ghillies, you got the bull riding, the urban cowboy. I'm a child of the '80s. I grew up in the '80s. I'm thinking that you're a little bit younger than me, maybe. When did you graduate high school?
I'm 38. I turned 39 this month.
All right. Well, with 20 years difference, I'm guessing that you graduated somewhere in the 2000s, and you got on the scene then. Back when I was, like I said, a baby DJ, I was playing some, in Miami. It was freestyle music. It was stuff with Latin beats, and it was techno. And techno really wasn't separated into all the different factions that EDM. Oh, it's house, it's trap, it's different types of techno, different types of electronic music. But are you delving, listening to some of the music that was on your YouTube page? Have you said you didn't like music when you were a little kid, but what made you have the flavor of the when you got LandingKraft? What were you playing with LandingKraft, and what were you?
When I was in Absynthe, I was asked by a waitress that I was working with to go out to a band practice one night. We were chatting, and she said, "My boyfriend has a band. Would you like to join them?" And I said, "Well, wow, I just got a synthesizer. Yeah, that sounds great." And she says, "They're a goth industrial band, so kind of like Nine Inch Nails." And I said, "Wow!" I was like, I got excited. I got really excited, and ended up going out and meeting these guys, and we formed a group called Absynthe. And that's kind of where it all began. It all started. I was exposed. The guys told me one night, they said, "Hey, Nick, you want to go to a vampire club tonight?" I go, "Oh, that's dope." I go, "Really?" I was like, "You're kidding me, really?" People, they go, "Yeah, they dress like vampires, and it's a really pretty cool affair." And I hit the ground running. I didn't look back. I dropped a lot of bad habits, a lot of good habits too, in doing so.
So, all right. So you get in a band, somewhat like Trent Reznor's Nine Inch Nails, got that techno beat, but still got a lot of heavy bass driven rock beats. Are you playing covers, or are you and the boys?
Industrial. It was kind of the lure of the industrial dance scene, and synth pop and future pop scene that really just captivated me. And the people are intelligent. They're youthful. They're well-to-do, and they're well-educated. And it's probably the best of both worlds. That's just what I was looking for at the time. I was I was so stubborn, wearing black and just wanting to find where I belonged. And I think I felt my identity was right there with them.
Now, when you say synthesizer, are you meaning a keyboard synthesizer, 88 keys, 66 keys? What kind of a synthesizer are you playing?
Yeah, a 61 key synthesizer workstation is what I started out with, and I saved a pretty penny for that one. Yeah.
What kind of a synthesizer was that?
It was a Korg brand, which I really appreciate that brand for everything they do. They're just so solid and innovative.
Well, I've heard good things. Every time I watch music videos, 8 out of 10, what is that? 4 out of 5. You're going to have a Korg keyboard, especially if you're watching. Some of my guys from the 80s, they got Korg. It's been an industry standard for a long time. And not that this is a commercial for them by any means, but if you want to sponsor Nick Vordenbaum of Lux Productions and hand him a few keyboards, I'm sure he'll be happy if you throw some his way.
I can take them off their hand. I would find a good home for him. Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, I'm sure Korg doesn't want to find those things on eBay. They want to see them played, by you in a music video that was created by you, produced by you, starring you. But
Dan, it turns out that along the way, when I started going to these clubs, I ended up getting offers to play shows, and I was 19, 20 years old, going on stage with beers in my hand, acting like Dean Martin playing synth pop for people. it was unbelievable. I just got swept into it. It was so fantastic, you know, and I just being able to entertain these people. I didn't know I was an entertainer until I started doing it, you know.
Yeah,
And
you get
it
jazzed,
just
man.
really took off from there.
You get the energy from the crowd. I mean, people wonder if there's energy that gets exchanged when you're at a show. I fully believe it. You know, call it hoodly poodly, call it, you know, whatever it is. But we're all, man, we're all in the same thread. We all share the same chemical, you know, bonds. And I know that even, excuse me, listening to some of the music that you have, you even have messages. It's not simply instrumentals. When you do take the time to put some lyrics to it, you have messages, be it fascination, redefine. I just listened to AI. That one has a big message in it. I mean, tell me about the messages that you're trying to convey.
To propel us into the future, basically. And, you know, the things that we should know by now, should have learned by now. I sing about makeups and breakups a lot, you know, because we can all relate to that. That's something we can relate to. And party life, you know, as well.
Yeah, one of the things that I like to do is when I'm beat matching, I love when they say, hey, I want to do an electronica show, because beat matching electronic music, to me, it's the simplest music to beat match, because it goes, you know, especially if it's 128 beats per minute to 135 beats per minute, even, you know, vinyl or CDs, or now with MP3s, forget about it. You can beat match almost anything at the press of a button. I try not to use that.
Yeah.
I try to keep my skills up from when I was using vinyl, you know, even at 80 to 100 beats per minute. But techno, I mean, I lived, I've done 4-hour parties where it's all 128, and I'll keep mixing music and mixing different songs in, and people are like, we've been at 128. We've been at this beat for the last 4 hours. Is it going to slow down? Yeah. No, it's not.
The train is not going to stop.
Yeah. Well, I mean, tell me about the parties that you did with Absynthe as opposed to the parties that came later. What kind of events were you doing? You said you were doing clubs.
LandingKraft, I'm not concerned with live performance right now, even though it's going to be an option somewhere down the road when I concern myself more for it. I'm trying to gather my following now. Absynthe, I opened up for a lot of influential acts. I opened up for Imperative Reaction back when they first started. God Module, you know, a lot of influential acts. Leather Strip, one show we played. I've opened up for a lot of influential acts. I don't know if these guys remember me along the way, but I was always just wanting to get blasted drunk and party and hang out with my friends. I never thought about associating with bands, making long lasting contacts. You know, to this day, I kind of, question what I was thinking, but I was a party animal back then. So, Absynthe got my feet wet and kind of, propelled the drive. And I wanted to solidify something that was okay for radio. I wanted to package it. I wanted to bring the industrial dance scene, who doesn't care about the average radio listener, and the average radio listener who doesn't know that they even exist. I wanted them to meet eye to eye somewhere. That's exactly what I was thinking when I went into LandingKraft, and I think I nailed something somewhere down the line.
Yeah, okay, you were talking about the partying aspects of this type of music. You know, I remember in Miami, sometimes they would tell me, hey, just be in the middle of this field at this time. We'll have a generator and an extension cord set up to the generator, and we're going to have a big foam party in the middle of this field. Well, I mean, sometimes it could be a little sketchy, but you know that there might be a little drug use out there. There's ecstasy.
Oh yeah,
the kids are getting crazy. They're drinking lots of water, and they're feeling feelings that they wouldn't otherwise feel. Have you experienced any of the drug use that goes along almost hand in hand with the type of music?
let's say I've experienced enough of that. It's and the goth scene, industrial dance, cyber industrials. They don't show too much emotion. You're not gonna get that. The EDM scene as we know it conveys quite a bit of emotion. The goth scene is a different animal altogether.
Today on my social media feed, I just saw a picture of Robert Smith of The Cure. He was standing next to sitting next to a bobblehead of himself. Speaking of the goth scene, that is one person that represents, almost the quintessential goth, I guess, look, if you will.
Iconic, yes.
And I remember there was I was watching South Park, and there was a fight between the goths and the vampires. So they don't like to, even though they dress almost identical, they don't like to be confused with each other. And I know that there's all different types of people, and you got to cater to whoever your party is. So who's hiring you out?
I do embrace the multicultural aspect of the subgenres. I really do. It thrills me to this day. That's why I do this, is to cater to them and give them my take on reality and get their take as well.
Yeah, I mean, and people are people. I enjoy seeing the different crowds. I've never partooken. I don't know the tense on that. Partooken in the drug world, but I've definitely on the sociologist viewpoint, I watch people as they come into the party and hey, here we are, and as they leave the party, hey, here we are. It's a totally different mood, and part of that was the music that was being played, and you get to change people's moods, either chemically or not. I mean, am I right?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of, there's plenty of there's plenty of ambiance and atmosphere out there, and people can fill it up very quickly, depending on what your crowd is. The EDM community is so fantastic considering there's so many subgenres, but I think in the end it's all about keeping that beat, and that's the flavor of life there.
Well, I briefly talked about the lyrics that you put to your beats, and the lyrics are almost secondary when you're at an EDM party. Sometimes you'll have somebody just harmonizing in the background. Do you work well with others? Because I noticed some of the sounds. I mean, the ones that I listened to were mostly. It sounds like you were providing the singing, if you can call it singing, the harmonizing, if you can call it that.
I've done pretty much everything. I'm looking at label backing. I'm very eager to get label backing. That's going to be a whole slew of opportunity that would abound. I think I would reissue a lot of my albums under a label, but I'm looking for label backing right now because that will change the game entirely for me. And I think I've done, enough to package LandingKraft and deliver it to people to make it practical, make EDM practical. I couldn't make it too future pop, synth pop, emotional and stirring as some of it is, and some of it is excellent that way. That's why we listen to it. Mm-hmm. So, but I had to make it appropriate for a radio listening audience, and I think I've done pretty well doing that.
Well, I mean, some artists do go far out there. I was listening to a podcast today, and they mentioned Danny Elfman of Oingo Boingo and scoring all of Tim Burton's films and others. But he had a concert that's going on right now. I think he's touring, and it's 3 different parts to show the 3 different types of music that he plays. So he's not limiting himself. He'll do a lot of Oingo Boingo in the beginning.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, he'll do some Oingo Boingo in the beginning, which is great for me, a child of the 80s. And then he'll do the music scores of the various films. And then he'll go into what he's doing now, which I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it might be along the lines of what you're doing with LandingKraft. Now, with LandingKraft or even Absynthe, have you ever been approached by a record label or management or somebody who wants to sign on the dotted line here and they'll give you a deal?
I'm trying to keep that I'm trying to bring it to the forefront that I'm eager to sign. And I'm very approachable, even though sometimes I've had my friends tell me I'm not, but I'm totally approachable. And it takes time. It takes time for A&R. Somebody's going to listen. A scout, someone down the line listens to something that they think is decent and good. And I think it's just going to take some more time. I haven't put myself out there as far as marketability. Getting promotional campaigns, PR campaigns. I'm starting to do that. I've had to do everything. I've had to assume every role basically. So, it's kind of difficult, but I think down the line something positive will happen. You helping me out with this interview, that's great. I'm glad that people get to scope me out and check me out, and you're providing the medium for that.
Well, Nick Vordenbaum, DJ Lux, you've been going hard on the social media. It's not that you're not putting yourself out there. I mean, my goodness, 2 years ago, it looks like you just went hard and strong, especially on your YouTube, just video after video, music after music, produced song after produced song. Are you producing all this on your own in your own studio? Or do you have somebody
in my household? Yeah, I just take time. I've got a lot of I've had a lot of friends, a lot of company come over, and it's all about the social gathering, and they're right there with me. There's so much to it. You've got to have a theme. You got to have a plan. You got to have a theme. You've got to have this and that. And I think PR campaigns will facilitate a lot of what I need down the road. I have to put together the finance and get in contact with people that can provide that for me. But it seems I've got digital marketers all over my ass. Oh, they're all over me. And I can tell them, I say, guys, I can only pick one or two of you out of the entire hundreds that I have messaging me. And, I've got to pick what I think is gold and what I think is going to, potentially benefit me the best.
Well, yeah, that's what it is. It's getting harder and harder for an artist to discern who's going to be the best line to sign on, especially, all right, back in the good old days before the interwebs, the A&R departments of record companies were looking for artists. And they would say, okay, that band is selling. We're going to find a band just like that or very similar, and we're going to try to grab all those bands up and make them sign on the dotted line. Now, they're not even going to approach you unless you've done all the work, unless you have 100,000 followers on your Twitter, unless you have, thousands of followers on your Instagram. They want you to do all the work that they should have done.
Half a million clicks on SoundCloud. Tell me how you did that. By all means, share the knowledge there.
Yeah, and I want to grab the A&R guy. In essence, just wants to grab some of the money that you would have made on your own anyway. Okay, and yes, there are good record labels, there are good record companies, there are good marriages between artist and record company that can be had and still are being had. But for the most part, my goodness, you as the artist have to come up with all the initial capital that the A&R guy used to give. They used to come up with the $5,000 or the $10,000 so they can get your record pressed, so they can get your, marketed, get a commercial on the radio for you, or put your song on the radio. And now you got to do that all by yourself. And then after that's been done, after you have your 1,000 followers, then they want to come in and get a piece of the action.
Yes. I seek label backing right now. I can make, I can sell records via Amazon or Apple iTunes. That provides me with that extra, income. But I'm looking for label backing, because label backing is it's so much stronger. It's so much more like reliable. And it's just everything that I think LandingKraft, the direction should be going in at this time. I've only been an established artist for 2.5 years, and I've managed to get a following all over the planet. I've got people that know about me all over the planet, so I'm thrilled about it.
I can believe that you have at least 1,000 people on your YouTube that are listening to your videos. Your videos get lots of hits, so people are finding out about Lux Productions, about LandingKraft, and even about Absynthe.
Thank you for recognizing that. Yeah, Lux Productions is very, very underground. My YouTube is I consider it very, very underground, but it's got all my album material and some rough content, some that I haven't put out, officially. It's much underground, and thanks for because I'd like to get more involved in my YouTube channel, practical, that I try to make things, and I've got music video ideas. I've got music video ideas that are just, I need some label backing in order to get those ideas to fruition, though.
Well, okay, the good people of San Antonio, I'm sure you have some friends out there with an iPhone. You can make kind of a demo type video for your songs.
I have film producer friends, but what I'm looking for is, I've got clearly defined ideas that I'm ready to lay out, and the artsy type can't fulfill that. It takes a little bit more. It takes a little bit more than that to get my scope on things fulfilled there.
Oh, yeah, you just don't want to throw something out there. I know I've seen lyric videos that have, images, maybe some B-roll of a city or something, or people walking hand in hand, or whatever the subject matter is, yeah. and you could put a lyric video out there. I mean, but hey, what you're doing what you can, what you're working with. You have a static picture of a poster of you, but it's mostly about the music. I'm a child of, like I said, I graduated high school in the mid 80s, and MTV actually had music videos. So video kind of killed the radio star. You had to be not only talented, but pretty, so you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. MTV is, they should go back to their roots. They really need to go back to their roots as far as everything is concerned. The music itself, you could create a show called How to Be a DJ, and, you could show the equipment specs. You can show the venues that you'll be playing for. I mean, there's a lot that they can do if they would, get in that gear.
Oh, for sure. I mean, and yes, it does cost hundreds. I mean, it costs thousands, maybe even tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands. But to be a mobile DJ, I don't know how much of that you do or you've ever done. Is most of your setting up for, the Lux Productions? I mean, the pictures that I see on your Facebook, it looks like you have, aircraft case after aircraft case full of equipment, and you're setting up some really deluxe, big, giant shows. Are these all in the San Antonio area, or I see one is in New Zealand?
A lot of it just is just my personal home. The stuff that I've done in my personal home, and the equipment that I have, the small amounts of equipment. I don't have anything lavish.
Oh, okay.
But I just try to make the music practical. I try to make it as practical as I can. And again, as I said, I'd like the industrial dance scene to see eye to eye with the radio listener, the average radio listener. I think they can identify with the dance beats somewhere, making it practical, EDM, a little bit more palatable and practical. Some people, older folks, would probably think it's drugged out music that's just meant for, shock culture. But it's really something that you can level with each other on.
Yeah, that's what they say about rock and roll. I mean, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It was a saying for a long, long time.
Woo!
You know, and even back in Beethoven's day, the parents didn't like Beethoven because he corrupted the minds of the youth with his crazy music. Then they were out there with their torches listening to Beethoven, going, "Play the ninth, play the ninth, yeah." It's been all times. Anything new that comes in, the parents are going to go crazy for it, and I mean the kids are going to go crazy for it, and the parents are going to kind of worry whether the kids are going too crazy. And what is this?
Yeah. I want to get their parents involved too. It's something that I want their kids to identify with it and have their parents get involved too. I want to make it a show for everybody.
Yeah. I mean, but okay. So, all right, you're hanging out. You're doing most of the stuff all by yourself. Is LandingKraft a band, or is LandingKraft mostly you?
LandingKraft is a project. It's my project. It's my expression. I'm looking for band members, and I have an open call for anybody that wants to join. I'm looking for a dedicated DJ to spin our tracks live. You got to be like a Slipknot DJ, is what I say. And I need a bass player, and then I need a keyboardist, and I think I will have it all together.
Man, so you are looking to set up live shows to get out there to play for the masses. Have you talked to any of the venues? Have you talked to any of the venues in San Antonio in the area? Because that's a big town.
It's a big town, but it seems like nobody notices me or knows about me here. I'm known in a lot of other places, but really, I think I'm San Antonio's secret. They don't know about me yet. I've done some promotion recently here in town using hashtags and @ symbols, trying to garner a following and trying to get them involved, locally here.
Well, this is where Nick Vordenbaum of Lux Productions takes it on the road and hits Lollapalooza and North by Northwest, or what is it? And then and Winterfest. Oh, that's great down in Miami, South Florida, sitting on South Beach. Every year Winterfest was fantastic. And Winterfest, don't let the name fool you. It gets about 70 degrees. Oh, it's cold. It's cold.
Yeah.
Get a jacket. I do miss Miami. I'm here in Arkansas now, just a state above you. And Little Rock has its music scene as well, and there's different types of people all over the country, all over the world, really. So all the people got to do is just listen, man, and you're gonna find your tribe. You're doing the work to get your name out there. Coming on this podcast, hopefully that helps a bit. But you're putting you have your Instagram, you have your Twitter, you have your YouTube that is full of content, and that's what the kids want is content. They want to chomp it up, listen to little pieces of music and find out what their vibe is. And hopefully some people find out that, Nick Vordenbaum, the LandingKraft, the project LandingKraft is the vibe that they want to listen to. And now you say you were with Absynthe playing on the road. Have you played as LandingKraft any place? Or is this studio building?
I played a gig not too long ago with some metal bands, but there was crickets in the audience by the time I took stage. It was about 1 o'clock, and there was just crickets in the audience. Everybody seemed to scoot, right when I was getting up there. So, I'm not trying to push for live shows yet. I'm still trying to get the following together and get a fan base. And, from there, I'll see where things go,
Yeah, it's still nice to get that stage time, even if it's 1 o'clock in the morning and you got, 5 people out there. You got the stage, you got all your equipment out there. You're checking it all out. I mean, it's one thing to have it all set up in your room, but to have it set up on an actual stage, it's a totally different vibe. So I'm sure you got something out of it, whether the people were grooving to it or not, or just making their way to the cars and the
I had a
waitresses.
good time. I was drunk and had a good time.
Yeah, every event it can be a learning experience, and it's on your way up the ladder, into superstardom, and I want that for you, man. I want that. When I first saw the poster of you,
I really appreciate that.
when I first saw the poster of you, I got your hairstyle, and I went, oh, I ran so far away. It kind of looks Flock of Seagulls, but then I listen to the music, and it does have that Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor feel. It's got bass driven, but it's got beats. It's got heart, and it's got a message. A lot of the songs that do have lyrics have a message. Man, what is it? So you want representation. Nobody's approaching you just yet, but hopefully the turning point. Hopefully it's happening. But
Yes, yeah, I'm very appreciative of that. Yeah, the message is very important. Makeups and breakups, how to avoid pitfalls, and party life.
Well, I mean, things are changing. You just got a new place. You're in an empty apartment. You could fill it up with some good stuff.
Yeah, on the move, actually, on the move. I'm leaving this place here, but geez, the lighting was so great in this place. It was great for live broadcast when you go live. Oh, it's just excellent for that.
Well, what's making you move, and where are you heading?
Well, lease agreement's up, and I'm going to stay in San Antonio. I'm looking for roommates right now. And we'll see where things go down the line.
All right. Well, things are on the move. So, I mean, are there any other avenues you want to explore? Anything else you want to tell the people as we wind this thing down?
Collaboration. Haven't been much into that, but like I said, once I get established and get settled, when I feel the time is right, then I will call forth for remixes. I'll provide stems for remixes and such, and we can get that ball rolling too if people are eager for that. So
very exciting. So I encourage people to slide into your DMs. Business only. I mean, unless you have no love in your life. Do you have a certain love in your life?
I don't have a love interest right now. It's been many years, but that comes in time. I'm sure. Well,
fantastic, man. I appreciate that so much. And look, I'm going to put all the links to all the social media in the description below, and I want to make sure that everybody knows how to get a hold of you. What do you have? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Via Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, of course. Yeah. Well, any of those three mediums at LandingKraft, all at LandingKraft.
Well, okay, you're young enough to know that you have to build a brand. So if LandingKraft is the brand, that's the stuff they got to put into their search engines so they can find out all about you and your projects. I mean, I do have your personal Facebook and your Twitter and your Instagram as well, and then your Lux Productions LandingKraft YouTube page. So
my very underground YouTube, I love it. I love my YouTube.
Well, it's got
380 at last count videos. At last count, that's a milestone. That's kind of it's underground as it gets.
Well, I mean, it's not that underground. You're doing really good, putting the word out there and letting people know all about you. And I hope that this helps. And I don't want this to be the last time that we talk. I want this to be, just part one of Nick Vordenbaum on the What Makes You Famous podcast. I usually finish these things off with like some shout outs. If you want to give shout outs to the people that have helped you along the way. And then we'll close this thing up.
Yes, all the fans and followers, want to thank them very much for their interest in LandingKraft. for their personal taste. I want to thank you and Radio WHAT, Radio What. Very happy for you guys and all the radio stations that are jamming me, which there are quite a few, and all the DJs. Keep rocking the dance floor, guys.
Well, I appreciate that so much. Once again, I don't want this to be the last time that we talk. I usually finish these things off with last words for the people. This could be words to live by, something you heard a long time ago, or just whatever pops into your head at this moment in time. Nick Vordenbaum, Lux Productions, DJ Lux, give the last words for the people.
Yeah, party hard, everyone.
Well, there you have it, party people. Nick Vordenbaum, Lux Productions, DJ Lux, LandingKraft, and formerly of Absynthe. So, yeah, find him on his YouTube page. That thing is extensive. If you want to know the progression from where he was a couple of years ago all the way up until right now, until, let's see, 8 days ago, as far as I can see on the YouTube page, there's a real progression of when he was, really getting into it with his synthesizer, and it's just been getting more and more produced, and he's just getting better and better and better. I can't explain it to you using my words. What you got to do is listen to the music. Slide into his DMs if you have any of the aforementioned instruments. If you're proficient in the DJing or the bass playing or the maybe even the singing, slide into his DMs. Find him on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and even his YouTube. I guess you can throw a comment on his YouTube, and happily you can collaborate, and I will listen. Yeah, if you stop, collaborate, I will listen. I'm looking forward to hearing more from Nick Vordenbaum, DJ Lux. I hope things get better and better and better, and you find that that representation that you've been looking for. Yeah, do it. Somebody represent him. And Korg, throw that man a new keyboard. He needs a new synthesizer. Yeah. Shameless. I'm shameless. Asking for free stuff. What's not free? He's going to give you some valuable advertising. All over San Antonio and eventually the world. Thank you so much, Nick Vordenbaum, Lux Production, DJ Lux, for being on the What Makes You Famous podcast. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Famous. Now, if you, yes, you, my loyal listener, if you'd like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email keysdan@aol.com. That's it for me. It's KeysDAN, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.